Started off 4 o'clock in the morning where I'd start with my cardio, then I'd have breakfast, and then I would go to the gym, and then I'd go to work.
Apple CEO Tim Cook wakes up at 3:45 a.m. every single day. Michelle Obama, she's working out by 4:30 a.m. Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary wakes up at 5:45 a.m. every day. Richard Branson wakes up at exactly the same time. And even after leaving being a monk, I've been waking up between 5 and 6 a.m. every single day. And there's so many more examples of people who wake up super early. And this is why we do.
Yeah, no. That is all bullshit. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Sansbury. If you're new here, I am pumped that you are here. If you've been around the internet or in the self-help worlds for longer than like 2.5 seconds, you know that this idea that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. or even have to wake up early to be successful is constantly shoved down our throats. And honestly, I could literally count on one hand how many times I've intentionally woken up at 5 a.m. to start my day or whatever, if I didn't have to be at like an airport or a kid didn't wake me up. Y'all, no joke, by the way. I had this on my schedule to film today, and just ask me what time I woke up. Just ask. 5 a.m. because I had a kid come in my bedroom at 5 o'clock this morning, not feeling super well, and we all just got up and couldn't go back to sleep. So I've done it, but not really on purpose. And sure, I've gone through spells where I'm getting up at 5 a.m. or I'm really being intentional about waking up early, but I've built a multiple 6-figure business. I have literal employees that I manage. I have a company that does really well, and I have over 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And in my eyes, that's successful. And so if I can get here, if I have done these things without having to like wake up at 5 a.m. and take a cold shower, you can too. So I just want to give you a little hope today. Okay. Just a little hope. Full transparency. I think the people who preach 5 a.m. are on the right track. I don't think there's anything malicious or bad about waking up at 5 a.m. if that's what you want to do, because a lot of the reasons they would tell you to be up at 5 a.m. I actually really do believe in, but I don't think 5 a.m. is the magical hour for everybody, because more important than what time you wake up is how much sleep you get. And unless you're one of these weird people like Bill Clinton and Trump who literally only need 4 hours of sleep a night, which by the way is like an actual genetic thing, and a lot of presidents have it and their bodies function well and they do well on like 4 hours of sleep a night. But that's not most of us, okay? So unless you're one of those people, you need a sufficient amount of sleep every night. And I will tell you that I need more sleep than most people. I need a solid 9 hours of sleep, and I do better if I get even more than that. So I'm going to be hurting myself if I'm getting up at 5 a.m. just for the sake of getting up at 5 a.m., right? And I'm not getting a solid amount of sleep. I would have to go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, like go to sleep at 8 p.m., to get up at 5 and still have 9 hours of sleep. My children don't even go to bed that early. We are usually not anywhere close to being able to go to bed that early. And my lifestyle is not one where I can just be like, sorry, everybody, I'm just going to bed. I have to get kids in the bed. There are certain times of the year when we have a lot of like sports or things that get us home even later than 8 o'clock. So while I do think it's important to get up earlier so you can start the day and the day doesn't start you, which we'll talk about in a minute, I think it's way more important that you get enough sleep than what time you actually wake up. So rather than, oh, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful, I'm much more of a believer that you need to go to bed early to be successful. Then also, we're all so very different on how much sleep we need to function like a human. I don't actually need 9 hours. I'm usually okay somewhere between like 7.5 to 9, but everybody is super different. Everybody has different sleep needs. Everybody has a different time period that they need to sleep to feel their best and for their bodies to have the most rest. Now, how do you figure that out? I've heard a lot of people say that like you go to sleep and don't set an alarm, and whatever time you wake up, like take note of the fact that you woke up naturally and that's how much sleep you had. But there's a lot of factors that go into that too. I can't do that. I have to be up by a certain time to get my kids out the door for school. And most of us are setting an alarm in the morning unless we just have amazing amounts of flexibility and like no dependence, like who need us to, help them and take care of them. But that's one way to kind of see how much sleep you need. There are also things like the Oura Ring, or there's another one that's called like the Whoop or something like that. That's like a watch, and they can track your sleep, and there are apps that will help you track your sleep and can help you really figure out what your sleep needs to be and what's ideal for you. And if you have never done research in sleep cycles, that is fascinating and something that I really try and live by, especially when my schedule is off or like I'm traveling or whatever, and I know I'm not going to be able to get 9 hours of sleep every night or whatever the scenario is. I just make sure that I am getting full sleep cycles out. Because if you wake up in the middle of a sleep cycle, that's when you feel really, really groggy. And for the most part, most people's sleep cycles are like 90 minutes long. But again, it's different. Again, what they tell you to do there is to take a nap and see when you naturally wake up. But like, I have no, like, when am I going to take a nap? And if I nap, I can't sleep at night. So more important than what time you wake up is the quality of sleep you get and the amount of sleep you get. So instead of thinking, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful, think, how can I get enough sleep tonight? Because that's what's going to make you most successful. That's what's going to put you on your biggest and best game. That's how you're going to put your best foot forward. 5 a.m. very well may be your perfect time to get up. If I wake up at 5 a.m., I generally feel groggy all day long unless I've went to sleep pretty early. So for instance, today, like I said, I got unexpectedly woken up at 5 a.m., but I feel certain that I was at the end of a sleep cycle when I got woken up because I actually heard my kid coming down the stairs before he even got to our room, and I'm a heavy sleeper, so I feel like I was already kind of in like an awake state, and I went to bed really early last night because the day before, I got crap sleep, and sleep is very important to me, and it should be to you too. So 5 a.m. may be your perfect time. 6 a.m. may be it. 8 a.m., 10 a.m. It really depends on what you need. I have not ever officially been diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm 99.9% sure that I have it. And if you really do some research on the way an ADHD brain works, we have a screwed up circadian rhythm. So I actually, pre-kids, pre me having to get up and get my kids anywhere, so even when they were little, I feel my best, I feel most creative at night. If I could like start my workday at like 8 p.m. and work until like midnight or 1 a.m., and then I would actually be able to sleep in the morning and get my appropriate amount of sleep, I actually think I would be more productive in those hours, because that's how I've always been. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, when I first had my kids. But the lifestyle that I live now, I have to be up no later than 6:45 to get my kids up so that they can get ready and we can get out the door to school. So 2 main factors that I think are way more important than just being up at 5 a.m. is 1, what we just talked about a second ago, making sure you're getting good quality sleep and enough sleep. That's way more important. And 2, making sure you wake up to the day and not letting the day wake up you. Here's what I mean by that. We all have things that have to be done every day. So, let's say you're in college and you have a class at 9 a.m., right? Like you have to be at class by 9 a.m. I have to get up by 6:45 to get my kids ready and out the door. You may have to get up at 5:30 every morning because you have to be at work by 7. Whatever the scenario is, most of us have like things that eventually we have to be awake for. And if we wait until like the very last moment to be awake for that thing and rush to get ready, and all we're doing in our morning time is getting ready, rushing, getting out the door, we're going to be really frazzled and we're not going to start our mornings off right. And I do think that this is the part that most people who tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. are getting at. Waking up before the day needs us, waking up before the people in our life need us, waking up to allow ourselves to have a little bit of time for ourselves in the morning, or to do a morning routine, or to just wake up is important. So especially if I wake up early, I am someone who needs a while to wake up. I've talked about this before, but I need a while to wake up. Like I need a minute. I'm a really, really hard sleeper. I really love my sleep, and waking up early in the morning is very, very hard for me. even 6:45. 6:45 is hard for me. And y'all, I'm in the bed by 10 o'clock every night. It's not like I'm like staying up really late. But I would love to be able to sleep till like 7 or 8 every morning, but it does not happen, and it is not conducive with my lifestyle. So I need some minutes to wake my butt up, right? And so even waking up at 6 or 6:30, so 45 or even 15 minutes before I have to wake my kids up is magical. Because if nothing else, I can just get upright and sit and wake myself up and maybe drink some water and just kind of like get started without having to come out of the bed and just like rush. So when you're trying to figure out like when you need to wake up, what needs to happen, how you need to structure your day, how much sleep do you need? When do you want to wake up? Reverse engineer that to when you need to go to bed. See if that's realistic for you. See if you can make that work, and try and wake up before the day needs you, before the people in your life need you, before your job needs you, right? Try and wake up before you need to start getting ready for that. And there's literally no reason you have to wake up and work out first thing in the morning, unless that's what you enjoy doing, or unless that is what your schedule kind of forces upon you. You can get your workout in later. I've told y'all this before, but I don't love to work out early in the morning either, because it takes me so long to kind of wake up and get at myself. I don't feel like I'm performing at my like top tier first thing in the morning with my workouts. So I much prefer to work out either late morning or in the afternoon. And today I know I need to film a couple of videos, so I'm gonna get all my work done first and then I'll work out later, and that is okay with me. Once you've kind of figured out what time you'd like to wake up to allow you to wake up without having anybody need you in that moment, and you figured out how much sleep you need to have every night, you can kind of reverse engineer and figure out what your best time to go to bed is and what your best time to wake up is. And honestly, you may try that out and be like, this feels awful. I do not feel good waking up this time of day. I need to sleep a little bit later. I obviously need more sleep. I need to sleep later, like whatever the scenario is. Find what feels best to you. Find what feels good to you, where you can sustain your energy levels all day, where you feel your most productive. So while I don't really love waking up at 5 a.m. and probably will never consistently wake up at 5 a.m., I do love to be up a little bit before I have to get my kids up. And if I sleep too late, I feel like the day is gone. So let's say my husband decides he's gonna get up and get the kids ready for school and get out the door and not wake me up and let me sleep. Which, by the way, if you're a husband and you want some extra points, just do that. Just do that, okay? So let's say that's the scenario and I get to sleep in, but I need to get work done that day too, because when my kids are at school, that's when I work. If I sleep until like 9 a.m., I'm gonna feel rushed all day long because I have to go get my kids before 3. So I'm gonna feel like I'm just constantly running this race all day, and I'm not gonna feel productive because I'll feel like I've wasted part of my morning sleeping. So for me, while I might want to sleep till 10 o'clock in the day, it doesn't feel best to me if I do that. So you've got to find like a fine balance of where you should wake up, when you should go to sleep, what feels best to you, and honestly tap into your own circadian rhythm, your own superpowers, your creative hours, and use those to your benefit. If you're like me and you have the ability to do that and you feel more creative at night, then do your work at night and sleep late during the day. If you have to get up and be out the door to a job, but you want to get a workout in sometime throughout the day, and you feel super drained when you're done with work and you don't feel like going to the gym or whatever, then it might be that you rearrange your schedule so that you can put that time in the morning or at lunchtime. So I guess my message with this is you do not have to wake up at 5 a.m. You just need to not let the world wake you up. Sleep enough, like have enough sleep time every night, and figure out what feels best to you. That's it. That's what you need to do to be successful. Not wake up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. might be it. It might be 7. It might be 10. It might be 3. I don't know. Do what feels best to you. I know people who like feel really good at 4 o'clock in the morning, and like that feels good to them. Like they enjoy waking up that early and they're at the gym by 5 and like all of this stuff. that is not me, and that is okay if it's not you either. Okay, so that's it for this video where I told you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful, but I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning and I'm filming this at 9 a.m., which is never the case for me. So it's an ironic video, to say the least, but hopefully you got some good nuggets out of it. Now, I've got some really, really awesome videos coming your way super soon, and I don't want you to miss any of them. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe below, and make sure you hang out here on my channel and go find some other videos that tickle your fancy, because my whole mission here on this channel, my whole mission with every single video that I put out, is to help you live a life that other people are not willing to do. Help you do things that other people are not necessarily going to do. Help you be a rebel in a normal world, right? So if that sounds like something you want to do, hit subscribe, and I will see you back here next time.